Uh, Phew. Yeah, I mean a lot of guys wrestling. We had obviously we had a group out of Las Vegas, and we had a group at Wisconsin, and got a lot more information, about our team and where we're at. I think we had what nine, eight new guys. If you look at it, I mean, got eight guys that were in our Big 12 lineup last year. Were in our lineup, and I thought we competed very well. Um, I mean, obviously Parker won title, looked great doing it. You get bonus points in the finals. I think that's that sets a statement. But man, just wrestling a hard pace, wrestling through everything. Loved how he finished that match, and just a little bit of emphasis. I think it's important that you send a message, and we've been talking a lot about planting seeds, and if it's seeds of trust and confidence and belief in ourselves, or seeds in doubt into their opponents. I can tell you this: anybody that has to go out and wrestle and compete against him, or they're like, oh man, I'm gonna have to compete against this guy for 7 whole minutes, and he's got quite an array of attacks, and keeps his focus and composure, and is able to wrestle through everything. I mean, he's the number one guy in the country for a reason, and he just solidified that even more and more. And to me, showed me he's one of the best guys in the country, no matter what weight class. You go pound for pound. He's being one of those guys. Two other guys placed. Happel, and I'll tell you, Happel and Farber, both placed in deep weight classes. And actually, Saturday morning they had, I think Happel was down 10-3 at one point, ended up winning the match 15-13 against a kid from Nebraska that's top 3-4 guy in the country. And then Farber was down, I think he was down 7-3. Got a takedown late in the match to win a match, and kind of back to back against really high level guys. To me, showed what we talk about being finishers, finishing matches, finishing periods, finishing situations. Those guys did that, and they put it on the biggest stage, and all our whole teams there watching. I think those are great reminders, and those are great things from, okay, man, good things happen when you wrestle through everything. Great things happen when, the positions that we've been spending time on, our finish work, our finishes rate was very good. It's got to get better, and, like I said, we have more information about, okay, here's where we got to get better individually and as a team. And, I'm really kind of challenging our guys to see how much ground we can cover. How much ground can we cover between now and tomorrow, now and next week, now and next month, now and next year. It's a long time till March, and we can grow. And, where we're at right now, you'd be like, dang, that guy was pretty good in December. Now he's really, really good. And we got some guys that are really, really good. Trevor Anderson, first round, wrestles the guy that ended up winning the tournament. And actually, he's in a scrap with the guy. 7-4 match, he just turned him, almost had a couple more backs. But right there, the margins are small. I'm still pissed off about a false start in his consolation match. I know the referee's got a tough job, and I would never want to be one of them. But man, I'm still pissed about that one, because the kid ended up scoring in the situation. And I think he wins that match if that doesn't happen. I said Farber battled through. I'd say Friday night, in his last match, about the best that he looked, but showing that he can wrestle with anybody. Obviously, Happel showing that he's one of the best 41 pounders in the country. Allard got to be able to get to some offense, but right there, Downey wrestled 4 guys that placed. I don't know that happens a whole lot. The first 2 guys that he beat ended up placing, and then he got beat by guys that got second and third. Beat 2 top 15 guys. So Downey's right there with everybody in the country. And then you go back and you look at, got a guy like R.J. Weston, who going over that tournament and pinning everybody, beating everybody handily. You have some incredible depth at that weight class, and the guys are trying to figure out how to get themselves in position to be able to beat guys out there. I've been very happy with how, if a guy's not the guy, so that's what I'm saying. So I'll go back to Wisconsin. These guys that are going there, the guys that aren't the guy, they're pushing the guy that's in front of them. They're not being content with where they're at, and they know that they have to cover a lot of ground, and they have to continue to get better. And that's probably one thing I'm proud of, because they said we got 8 new guys in the lineup, and the standard's the standard. It doesn't matter. And our guys trust that. They understand that. And, some of these guys in the first big tournament, they're veterans now. That's how I see it. We're going to make some mistakes, but I don't really care about that. I care about learning how we improve. Yent in deep on a bunch of shots. Got to get finish rate up. Sim of finish matches. Yeah, that's a big thing. Now obviously Parker, a fall 20 points, 13 points, 14 points, um, and just very smart wrestler. I don't know, Parker's impressing me more and more, and not just the competitor he is, but how he's aware of every position and situation, and it's great for our guys to watch. Volker, I thought had a good tournament, showed that he's right there. In a scrap with a guy that was in the finals. Got dinged up a little bit in the backside, and one of those things where that guy's a soldier, and man, he will fight and battle through everything. Certainly wasn't anywhere near 100% in that last match. Um, sometimes those things happen. Sometimes you got to, I don't say throw them away, but like, okay, well that one kind of just, yeah, you just push that one to the side. And then Jose, who's a 97 pounder that built himself up into a heavyweight. Weighs about 245, 250, won 4 matches at the best in season tournament, and competed very well. Did a lot of great things, and like I said, it don't matter if Tyrell's in there or not in there. Jose's like, well, it's my spot, and I'm going to make the most of it. And so, I thought we competed very well as a group, and I'm excited to see what kind of ground we can cover as a group from now until the end of the year. And obviously excited too that we get an opportunity to compete in front of a home crowd on Sunday. I can tell you this, that it makes a difference. It makes a difference when the stands are packed. It makes a difference for our guys. And Columbia is a team. They're wrestling Iowa, and one of those things where they're coming up, and coach got a hold of me and said, "Hey, you guys like to wrestle?" I'm like, "I'm never going to turn down a home date." So we get a home date. We get to wrestle a team that they're going to come. They're going to come ready to scrap. They were at that tournament too, and that's a tough turnaround for me as a coach. We usually don't have a duel this weekend, but so we get a home date. We get one on Sunday. We got back yesterday and have a day kind of to themselves today. Take care of their bodies, and we'll get back on the film and get back ready to compete on Sunday. And what do we had? Waited for what 5 champs at Jim Koch and get 9 guys in the finals. A few of those weight classes you're wrestling a teammate, and unless it's kind of for the spot on the line, we don't wrestle those matches. 65 where we got a true freshman with Marino and Thompson. Not going to wrestle that match. 97. We're not going to wrestle that match in that situation. Thorpe won, wrestled really well. Rinkin had a rough first tournament, and then wins 3 matches, gets in the finals of a tournament. So I don't know. I'm seeing progress up and down the lineup, and that doesn't mean it doesn't have to be the guy that's in the lineup. I think all those guys behind him are pushing, and that's what we have to have. We have to have every 35 moving forward, and I feel like we have that as a group. Injured or not, guys are moving forward, and yeah, looking forward to Columbia. Looking forward to the collegiate duels the next week. Obviously you see our schedule, and we're battle tested. There's no way you can't go through that tournament and not get battle tested, because it's the best in-season tournament that there is. And I don't know, we got a lot more information, and I don't know, I'm very encouraged by what I saw this weekend. So any questions?
What is Tyrell's status?
He's back on the mat. He's moving around. So we'll see this week where he's at. But I said, when you have, to me, someone else that's capable, that's a great thing. And you work hard to build depth. So I think it's really important from our group as a team. I know there's some guys that, well, it's just, we're only worried about this guy. We're trying to bring everyone along, and I think that's a testament. That's a testament to Jose, and Tyrell. He's out there supporting his team. But it's one of those things too where you got to read the situation. I'm not in a rush to get him back. It's a long season. You'd love to have him in there, but when a guy like Jose is competing as well as he is and really improving and getting better, you can throw him out there, and he's going to be able to win a whole lot of matches for us.
And kind of playing off that point, especially when you have a big team with a lot of people at different weights, but you can only have 10 in a duel. How big is it when you have that next group of people where they're trying for that spot. They'd love to get that spot if it's open, but if somebody else is wrestling there, they're still a supportive teammate. They're still doing things not only to help themselves, but help that guy ahead of them and just help the unit as a whole.
Yeah, I think that's part of one of our tenets is being selfless, giving back. Making those in front of you better. If you're not going to be the guy, how can you help? How can you improve the situation? To take your ball and go home. That's not part of our program. If you want to have that, you need to go somewhere else. And our guys understand that. And does that mean that they're content with where they're at? No. I mean, that's to me, that's being a great teammate. So we got guys that have bought into each other and caring about one another. And you know what? I can still push the guy in front of me and not be a baby, so to speak, about not having the position. Because the only tools that we have, we're limited in the tools that we have. So I talked about, and you talked about your teammates. That's one of the tools we have to get better. And if we can't utilize one another, then we're in some serious trouble. So our guys are bought into that, and they're moving the guys in front of them. And I brought up a guy like RJ. I've got guys that are, and I love it. I got guys that are like, hey, coach, man, where do you need me? I'm willing to fill in wherever. And I love having that kind of mentality and attitude. That's being coachable too, because coachable is a critical piece to, I think, being great. You have to be able to be coached, and these guys are taking the direction. They're listening, believing, applying what we're talking about, and that's really all I can ask of the guys. And yeah, guys are pissed off, and I'd be pissed off too if I'm sitting there and I'm watching. There's a guy in front of me, but also like, I love that guys are like, well, coach, hey man, here's what I'm doing, and what I tell them all the time is just continue to show me. So I don't know, that's part of our culture. That's what we've tried to build. And I know that every place is like that. And I was at a place where if you're not the guy, like, you almost hate the guy in front of you, which I don't think that's very healthy. So that's not how we go about our business. So, I'm proud about those. I'm proud with these other guys that are behind the guy right now, because who knows? I don't know what the hell's going to happen today in practice. I don't know what's going to happen next week. Anybody could get hurt and go down. And you have to be ready and able to step up and, take that as, and I said, the standard is the standard, and that's what it is. I mean, our guys have, and they talk about it. I know they do, man. They got stuff up on the wall about here's how we're gonna do our part in this program, how we're gonna add to the program, how we're gonna add to each other. So I know it got long-winded, but to me, that's a very important piece to who we are as a team and what we are. And so I'm not surprised if they go into the other way, then we'll have a conversation, and they continue to go the other way, then they probably not a very good fit for them, So Sunday, get to McLeod Center. We toys for tots, I believe, too. So if you bring toys. I mean, I know there's plenty. I know my kids aren't one of them. that don't have plenty of toy, but there's certainly some kids that don't have that, and it's only because of people being generous and thinking of others, and I don't think there's no bad time for that, but I think this time of year especially, it's easy for people to think about that. So bring toys. Let's see how many we can get. Let's fill up that whole concourse with toys for these kids, and let's have a rocking house, because I know our guys are going to be ready to compete and excited, and they're going to put a whole bunch of points on the board, and we'll keep building as a team. So.